White guys now have nothing in common with Nancy Pelosi or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. You guys have nothing in common with your versions, but you do have common with the middle class.
I think it's pretty sick and pathetic.
Gavin Newsom is incompetent. Got a good line of bullshit, but that's about it. He's incompetent.
What he's counting on is nobody looks at the price of electricity, the price of food, the price of housing, the price of gas, on the infrastructure, crime rate, etc. in California. Because he, more than any other Californian, as a Bay Area City Council person, as a San Francisco mayor, as a lieutenant governor, and as a governor, has ruined this state. He took a natural paradise and he turned it into purgatory. I'm a sixth-generation Californian, so I know the whole Bay Area politics very well, what Jerry Brown or Nancy Pelosi or Dianne Feinstein or any of them were like. But everything that he's saying now, he's criticizing himself. He might as well talk to a mirror, because he's the one that he blows up dams when he's supposed to build them. Mm-hmm. He gave $500 million to illegal aliens during COVID. He created a slush fund to sue Donald Trump. He's given Medi-Cal, that's free health care, to illegal aliens where it's broke. It's $8 billion, and the whole quarter of all Californians are defaulting on their power bills because it's 40 cents a kilowatt, the highest in the United States, highest taxes in the country, highest gas taxes, and among the worst infrastructure, the highest poverty rates, 21%, largest number of illegal aliens. 27% of the population was not born in California, and that demanded assimilation, integration, acculturation. And what did he do? It was all diversity, equity, inclusion, separatism.
You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history.
From 1997 to 2025, Gavin Newsom has held elected office for 28 years without a break. Almost 3 straight decades of uninterrupted political control. Beginning in San Francisco, rising through lieutenant governor, and finally seizing the governorship in 2019, Newsom promised transformation. Instead, California has become a cautionary tale under his watch. Nearly $25 billion poured into homelessness, yet tent cities only multiplied. Housing shortages worsened as state goals fell millions of units short. Wildfires and floods devastated communities, while his agencies stumbled in prevention and response. During COVID, California oversaw one of the largest unemployment fraud scandals in U.S. history. $11.4 billion lost to criminals. His high-speed rail project ballooned into a multi-billion-dollar fiasco, a symbol of wasted ambition. Once flush surpluses collapsed into crippling deficits, forcing cuts as taxes soared. The result is not a California for all, but a hollowed-out state of exodus where middle-class families flee, businesses shutter, and once great cities crumble and decay. Nearly 3 decades of Gavin Newsom's leadership have not delivered prosperity. They have left behind wreckage.
When you add in his 8 years on the San Francisco City Council, his 8 years as mayor, his 8 years as lieutenant governor, his 6 years as governor, no person has been more responsible for the destruction of the Bay Area in general and California in particular. He's there. His footprints are on everything from higher taxes to high-speed rail to the Aspen fire, the Paradise fire, you name it. California's been in the news recently because it's going to have an unusual redistricting effort. That means we're going to redraw the maps of our 52 congressional seats. And we're going to do that according to our governor, because Texas has been doing that. And Gavin Newsom is running for president in 2028, so he wants to show that he is on the cutting edge of Democratic opposition to Texas. But there's a problem. Texas doesn't have an independent commission, not that they're really independent, but that In theory, they are. They just gerrymander. And Texas has a underrepresentation of Republicans in congressional seats. And they're not interested in governing. They're just interested in destroying things. They're nihilists. So that's who they are now, and they're kind of terrified. So the answer is they have to be beaten 2 or 3 times before they're going to So Gavin Newsom out here in California, they told him, after the election, Gavin, you're responsible as city council member for 8 years, for mayor for 8 years, for lieutenant governor for 8 years, and for governor for 6, 7 years. You're the poster boy for the destruction of California. Mm-hmm. The water crap, the high taxes, the broke government, the deficits, the illegal aliens, the fires. So you got to pivot. So for about a month, he had Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk. He said he was moderate. And then people shook him up and they said, no, that's the wrong strategy. You'll never get nominated because these people are crazy. You've got to be in a primary. So you've got to be crazier than Karen Bass, and you've got to get crazier than all of them. So now he's saying, we'll withhold taxes to the federal government if they don't treat us right. We're going to get back the guard. We're going, and all these things. And he's now back to his hard left, and he's polling 6% for 2028.
He does not listen, ever. Maybe, is this the tipping point for him? Did you get the feeling he really wants to change?
So I don't think they're going to have to be beaten again and again. And if the Republican Party can stay calm and not get too arrogant, it's got a great message because it's now the party of the lower, middle, and upper middle class. And that's where the votes are. And it's doing something quite radical. It's substituting racial tribalism for class solidarity. So it's telling a Mexican-American truck driver in Fresno or a black carpenter in Iowa, you have more in common with a white guy who's a plumber than you do with Joy Reid or Alex Padilla. They are the same thing, just as white guys now have nothing in common with Nancy Pelosi or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. You guys have nothing in common with your versions, but you do have common with the middle class. Most of the red states are underrepresented through gerrymandering, and most of the blue states are overrepresented. What Gavin wants to do is he's targeting Republican Congress women and men, and he thinks that he can redraw the districts and put 2 Republicans incumbent in the same district, and then one will either drop out or they'll have to run against each other, and one will win, and they will be diminished by half. He doesn't care about the 40% of his own state that won't have any congressional representation. That's not on his plan. This is all the act of commission. He's the architect of most of California's failure because he was not only governor, he was lieutenant governor, and then he was mayor of San Francisco, and then he was on the city council. He's got 30 years of fingerprints all over this disaster. But what is Gavin doing about the state? We've had 12 million people leave the state the last 10 years. 12 million. These were people not on public assistance. These are the entrepreneurial upper middle class. They've gone.
Doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony capitalism. He is wrecking this country, wrecking the economy. It's a lawless president. Wake up, America. Wake up to what's going on.
We have the highest electric rates in the country, over 35 cents a kilowatt hour. We're the highest except for Hawaii. We have the highest gas prices. And now we have this carbon fuel formula and this new inflation-adjusted gas tax. So we're going to have the highest gas taxes and the highest actual price of gasoline. And together they're going to go up to maybe $6 a gallon. But that's not the end. He has driven out through hyper-regulation and bullying and berating oil refineries. We're going to drive 2 main ones out, and we're not going to have very many left. And if that should happen, gas could go up to $7 or $8 a gallon. Is he talking about Pacific Palisades? It essentially hasn't been rebuilt. It's completely in cinders. Why? Because of California regulations, environmental, social, equity, DEI, you name it. No zoning going on, a big fight that they want to take this beautiful Pacific Palisades historic neighborhood and have high-density, low-income housing in many areas, etc., etc.
Gavin Newsom inherited one of the greatest states in the Union and left it broken. California, once the envy of the world, now drowns in homelessness, crime, crumbling schools, suffocating costs, and an exodus of its people. This is the legacy of his rule. So the question is stark, and the stakes could not be higher. After watching him destroy one of America's greatest states, will you trust Gavin Newsom with the destiny of the entire nation?
Gavin Newsom is incompetent.
I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit.
He's incompetent. He's a nice guy, looks good. Hi, everybody. How you doing? He's got some strange hand action going. I don't know what the hell is his problem is. It's a little weird.